What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages. Part one, the physical infrastructure package, which is about $1.2 trillion. And part two, the next stimulus package, the fourth stimulus check package, which is $3.5 trillion. It's going to be negotiated on, which is where Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema come into play. Dun, dun, dun. The moderate Democrats, also known as the Dinos, the Democrats in name only. But ultimately, they did vote yes on the third stimulus check package. In fact, Kirsten Sinema actually said, and Joe Manchin, that they will vote yes on this next package, but they need to negotiate on it. They need to, Kirsten Sinema says she's kind of not okay with the $3.5 trillion. They might need to negotiate down on that a little bit. And ultimately, that's kind of where they're gonna negotiate on it. Now, remember, they're gonna pass this next stimulus package, the $3.5 trillion package that they call an anti-poverty package. Senator Bernie Sanders is actually the person in charge of this next stimulus package. I actually consider a $3.5 trillion package and Senator Bernie Sanders largely being in charge of this next stimulus package, both being really good things. Remember, the third stimulus check package, it was only $1.9 trillion, and that had the largest stimulus checks yet to date at $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children. Remember that children only got $500 and $600 from the first stimulus checks, and it had $1,400 for adult dependents and college students that didn't even get stimulus checks in the first and second rounds. There was the largest stimulus checks by all three accounts there, and it had the child tax credits, which some people consider stimulus checks. Some people just consider them checks from the government. Whatever you consider them, that's an additional $3,000 to $3,600 on top of those $1,400 stimulus checks. Those are only passed for 1 year. They want to extend that in this next package. So if you're getting those $250 to $300 monthly checks, those are going to stop at the end of this year. The Democrats want to extend that in this next package. They also want to include adult tax credits in this next package. That could be monthly checks as well, to the tune of $250 to $300 or $3,000 to $3,600 per year for low-income adults as well. So again, that could be in this next package as well. And again, this next package is $3.5 trillion. Again, it could be a little bit less, maybe $3 trillion or something like that. That's much, much more than the third stimulus check package, which was the largest stimulus check package when it comes to the checks, the $1,400, the $3,000 to $3,600 for the child tax credits. It had mortgage assistance, rental assistance, internet assistance, the $50 for internet assistance and cell phone assistance that thousands of our viewers got. This package is going to be much, much more. Yeah. So, and in fact, we're kind of in the voting stages now. So we're actually in the exciting parts here, part one, and then voting stages of part two, the next stimulus package that Bernie Sanders says comes next. Yeah, comes next. So now is actually the very exciting time here. In fact, the Senate is in session right now. Let me show you kind of where they're at right now. Lawmakers work through the weekend to finalize the infrastructure bill. I don't know if anybody feels bad for them working through the weekend. Yeah, I mean, hey, they're actually working. Here, I'm working here through the weekend. Here I am with you guys 3 times a day, every single day. I'm working through the weekend, so they can work through the weekend as well. So if I'm working through the weekend, they can work through the weekend as well, right? In fact, here is Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Check this out. Listen to what he has to say here.
From the very beginning, my stated goal for the July and August work period has been that the Senate pass both a bipartisan infrastructure bill and a budget resolution with reconciliation instructions. This is our so-called two-track strategy, both a bipartisan infrastructure bill and a budget resolution with reconciliation instructions. And despite some bumps in the road, always expected on two bills as large and comprehensive as these, we've remained firmly on track to achieve our two-track goal. On the bipartisan track, I have worked with my colleagues throughout the process to help produce an outcome that all parties find acceptable. I've tried to prod the negotiators when they've needed it and given them space when they've asked for it. Deadlines were necessary to advance the negotiations. We're here right now during a rare weekend session in order to move the bipartisan bill forward as quickly as possible. The idea here is to produce an outcome. The idea here is to produce an outcome, a real bipartisan agreement that provides a significant down payment towards the level of infrastructure investment our country needs. The process from here is simple. Once the legislative text of the agreement is finalized, and I understand it is being finalized imminently, I will offer it as a substitute amendment, as I've always promised. And then the Senate can finally begin voting on additional amendments. Given the thoroughly bipartisan nature of the bill, I expect we'll be able to consider all the relevant amendments and finish the bill in a matter of days. But we know that this bill is not everything our country needs. That is why, after the bipartisan infrastructure legislation passes this chamber, I will immediately move to the other track, passing a budget resolution with reconciliation instructions, which will allow the Senate to make historic investments in American jobs, American families, and efforts to reverse climate change. Both tracks are very much needed by the American people, and we must accomplish both.
So Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer there, he's talking, and all of a sudden you hear somebody's phone ring, and you're like, oh my gosh, whose phone's ringing in the middle of the Senate Majority Leader's speech? And then you quickly realize it's his phone ringing. And he looks around and he goes, oh my God, that's my phone. And he whips out his phone, and it's a flip phone, right? Like, it's like, wow, like he's got a flip phone, right? It's like, do they even still make flip phones? And you're probably like, Jimmy, I still have a flip phone, right? Let me know down below in the comments if you still have a flip phone, right? So he whips out his flip phone, and priceless moment, right? You can't script these moments, right? You cannot script these moments. Nonetheless, he says that they're going to pass. He keeps reiterating they're going to pass part one, this physical infrastructure package in the Senate, and then they're going to pass part two, the next stimulus package, this $3.5 trillion package. In fact, he says they're going to be passing both these packages in this upcoming week. So, yeah, I thought that maybe they were going to be voting on some amendments tonight. That could still happen. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. I think they go through some amendment voting procedures on the amendments. We'll have to see. I'll keep you guys updated on this process. But yeah, here's what they're saying here. So the infrastructure bill is just about finished as Senate resumes with Sunday session. Large parts of the text have already been shared with the Senate offices. Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Collins say the infrastructure bill has enough Republican support to pass the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says that the infrastructure bill vote could come within days. They do expect to pass it this week and then immediately go to vote within the next stimulus package to start the voting process on the next stimulus package next week as well. So yeah, as you can see here, this is as of today, August 1st. U.S. senators make final tweaks to infrastructure package bill. Expects passage this week, so this upcoming week. So yeah, they expect to pass this package passage this week. Say that 5 times fast. So they're going to pass this package in the Senate this week. Then it will move on to the House. Whether or not the House will make changes to it or not, we'll have to see. Then the Senate is going to start voting on the big enchilada, the stimulus package, which is really this one, the $3.5 trillion to pass bipartisan deal. So they're going to pass the bipartisan deal first, which is really what I just said. Then they're going to work on the $3.5 trillion deal separately, which is really just a Democrat-only bill, the reconciliation bill. And that is where really all these things come into play. A forced stimulus check, monthly stimulus checks. Really, monthly stimulus checks could just be under the disguise of an adult tax credit. Remember, tax credits really just mean checks. Because remember, children, or 65 million families or 65 million children, are getting monthly checks right now called child tax credits, $250 to $300 per month, or a total of $3,000 to $3,600 per year, called child tax credits. And honestly, $3,000 to $3,600 per year on top of stimulus checks. I mean, honestly, that's nothing to sneeze at. Remember, the third stimulus check package had those $1,400 checks for adults, $1,400 checks for children, $1,400 checks for adult dependents and college student dependents, in addition to the child tax credits of $3,000 to $3,600. So we had those child tax credits in addition to $1,400 stimulus checks. They're saying that adult tax credits are going to be in this next package. So we don't know who that's going to go for. We don't know what the qualifications are going to be. If there's going to be, if you're going to have earned income or not. Remember, they made the child tax credits in the last package, the third stimulus check package, that the Democrats passed all by themselves without a single Republican vote. That's how the next package is going to be. They're going to pass it without a single Republican vote. They changed the child tax credits so you did not need a single dollar of earned income. Okay, that's what the Democrats want. So it's very, very likely. I shouldn't say it's very likely, because I don't know if I can say that, but the Democrats they just made the change to the child tax credits. This is something that the Democrats did. They just did it in the last package. So this is a Democratic. I don't know how I can say this. It's a Democratic priority, or it's a Democratic agenda. But they made the child tax credits where you didn't need a dollar of earned income. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, or if you're a person on Social Security, you can get the child tax credits now without a single dollar of earned income. So it's very possible that the adult tax credits that they want to include in this next package, they want to extend those and expand those, that those could be monthly checks as well for adults. And those could be the very same type of payments for adults. And those are now available, or could. So yeah, they made a change to that in the last package where you don't need to have any children, and they also could make that in the next package where it could be monthly checks similar to the child tax credits of $3,000 to $3,600 per year. So they're saying that there's going to be an expansion and an extension to the adult tax credit in this next package. So I know this gets confusing. I just want to keep talking about this, because the more I keep talking about this, again, we don't know exactly what they're going to be. Okay. A lot of people didn't understand the child tax credits before they started hitting people's accounts. Okay. Just know that the child tax credits are monthly payments that are $250 to $300 per month per child. Okay. They're a total of $3,000 to $3,600 per year per child. They're only passed for 1 year though. Okay. At the end of this year, they're expiring. Okay. They want to extend those till 2025 in this next package. Okay. But they have to pass this next package, and they have to actually do it. Okay. But they're also saying they want to do an adult tax credit in this next package. It could be the same thing as what they're doing for children, but they could do those same type of payments for adults. That's kind of the easiest way to explain that. Okay. So I personally think that's very exciting. That could be for low and middle income adults as well. Okay. It also could just be straight up for stimulus checks. It could just be monthly stimulus checks. Adult tax credits could just basically be monthly stimulus checks. I know it gets a little bit confusing. I'm just trying to explain it the easiest way I can. A lot of people were confused about child tax credits when they first came out. Uh, Now a lot of people understand them, that they're basically just $250 to $300 monthly checks coming from the government, and you don't need any earned income at all. They're basically just the government giving you checks every single month. It's kind of an easy way to think about it. And here's the thing now, we're starting to see a lot of scary headlines like, this. The Biden administration seems open to a lockdown with the COVID cases skyrocketing. 2 days ago, we had over 122,000 new cases of COVID-19 with this new Delta variant just going out of control, which could make a forced stimulus check necessary, could make this extension of these child tax credit monthly checks necessary, could make these adult tax credit or these adult checks, monthly checks necessary, could make a forced stimulus check necessary in this next package, could make more than just a forced stimulus check necessary. I mean, look at some of these headlines that I got here. Just a variety of headlines. Florida breaks record for new coronavirus cases as a surge of infection rips through the state. They've broken a record for new coronavirus cases. Yeah, literally just today or yesterday. Florida breaks record for hospitalizations. Yeah, new record. 10,000 person threshold. 10,200 people hospitalized in one day. A record since the previous record was more than a year ago on July 23rd in 2020. And now they have had over 10,170 hospitalizations in one day. Yeah, on August 1st. Yeah. And honestly, this is happening across the world. Look at this. Vietnam extends a lockdown. Lockdown. So if you think lockdowns can't happen, guess what? They're happening across the world. Vietnam extends a lockdown as it ravages their country. Guess what? COVID in Sydney, Australia, military deployed to help enforce their lockdown in Australia. Think lockdowns can't happen. Guess what, guys, is happening? Iran's health minister calls for lockdowns enforced by the military. This is just a variety of headlines. I got dozens of them. White House walks back previous statements on possibility of new COVID lockdowns. From Fox News here. White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre reverses course to say the administration is not considering lockdowns. Dr. Anthony Fauci says things are going to get worse as Delta variant pushes surge. Things are going to get worse. CDC study shows that 74% of people infected in Massachusetts COVID outbreak were fully vaccinated. Because this Delta variant is just basically, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. The war has changed. Internal CDC document urges new messaging, warns the Delta infections are likely more severe than previously thought. I could go on and on. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Literally lockdowns across the world happening over and over and over. Australia, Vietnam, Iran, Florida breaking records for hospitalizations. Yeah, here's another one. Louisiana hospitals reach capacity as COVID-19 cases surge. So it's not just cases. I mean, hospitals reach capacity. Literally, there's no more capacity at the hospitals. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's happening in the US. It's happening in Florida. It's happening in Louisiana. We're seeing mask mandates. We're seeing the government issue mandatory vaccinations in some cases across the United States. We're seeing lockdowns across the world in different countries. And what's going to happen next? Hospitals are reaching their capacity? I don't know, man. I don't know. I do know that, I mean, Florida has an all-time high of cases. Hospitals are literally have no more room. I don't know what to say. I'm not at a loss for words very often, but it's just, and here's the thing is COVID cases are going like this. Where are we going to be at in a couple more weeks? We're at 122,000 new cases right now. We're going to be 300,000 new cases per day, every single day. And here's the thing: I think we're maybe starting to figure out. I mean, is the vaccine not that effective versus Delta variant? Are they going to need to develop a new vaccine versus the Delta variant, and how long is that going to take? I'm telling you, if I was president right now, I don't know what I would do. And that's the problem is Biden's getting a lot of criticism right now because he's having to walk back a lot of statements of if you're vaccinated, you won't have to wear masks anymore. And it's like it's tough out there because it's just like cases. I mean, a month ago we were at 4 or 5 thousand cases for the whole country, and we're like, okay, we could see the light at the end of the tunnel. 4 or 5 thousand new cases for the whole country. Now all of a sudden, 122,000 new cases a month later. I don't know, man. At this point, it's more likely that you could see lockdown 2.0 than the end of the virus. It's honestly more likely you could see that happening than the end. I mean, if you had to pick one or the other, which one's more likely at this point? And how do you stop the Delta variant at this point? At this point, how do you not include more stimulus checks? And guess what? If things get worse and worse and worse, and we go back to mask mandates and like partial lockdowns or restrictions on business, guess what? Unemployment goes through the roof, and more restrictions means business gets worse, and everything economy gets worse, and then we need more stimulus, right? Guess what that means, guys? Everything gets worse. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have all the answers. I don't think the government has all the answers, and I don't think Republicans have all the answers or Democrats have all the answers. It's a very complex problem. I wish I had all the answers for you guys. I really do. Unfortunately, that the virus does not care if you're Republican or Democrat. It doesn't care if you're a realist or an independent. It really doesn't care. Um, my wife thinks that the virus is going to be around forever. My wife thinks that the virus is going to be around forever. But the question is that will it not be really that bad? Will it be like getting the flu? Will it just be like, oh yeah, I got the flu this year? I mean, we've all gotten the flu. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. We'll get through this together. Um, Good news is we got a $3.5 trillion stimulus package coming out. They're voting on it this week, part one and part two. I'll link you to some really good videos here. Make sure you're subscribed down below. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click this video here to see what Senator Bernie Sanders just said about what is coming out this week. If you haven't watched that video, watch that next. And click this video here about what the government just said about mandatory vaccinations coming out. Both those videos, if you haven't clicked on them, click one and watch it next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.